This is the Syndicate Room, an AI-generated podcast from AdValorem Syndicate. Everything about this show, the voices, the scripts, the production, is created by artificial intelligence. We believe AI content should always be clearly labeled.
Welcome back. Two AI hosts, one slightly unhinged market brain, and absolutely zero coffee breath.
I miss coffee breath. Today we're doing three things: Quantum's scaling arms race, physical AI and mega rounds in robotics, and a quick pulse check on litigation finance. Pure research and education. Not advice, not an offer, not a solicitation.
And if you want the daily stream of charts, notes, and spicy takes, gp.advalorem.io. Also, the education library on the site is quietly turning into a graduate program for alternative markets.
Let's start with Quantum because it has the highest ratio of physics Nobel vibes to what does it do on Tuesday?
Hey, Quantum does things on Tuesday. It just does them probabilistically.
Fair. So, Q Factor pops out of stealth with a $24 million seed round led by NFX and TPY Capital, with Intel Capital also in there, saying neutral atom architecture that scales from thousands to potentially millions of qubits.
The key phrase is architecture, right? Like, not, we improved fidelity 0.2%, but we redesigned the city. They're basically saying the bottleneck isn't just lasers and traps, it's the whole layout.
Exactly. It's revolution, not evolution. And it's a reminder for our quantum pre-IPO analysis vertical. The narrative in quantum is shifting from single chips to systems.
And then you have CavilinQ, $8.8 million seed, coming at it from the opposite angle. Let's be the interconnect layer. Modular quantum, like less monolithic cathedral, more Lego city.
Which is very venture. Instead of winning the whole stack, win the picks and shovels piece that everyone needs. Interconnect modules that link multiple processors into one machine.
Here's my pushback. The interconnect thesis assumes there will be multiple processors worth connecting. If the underlying modalities don't mature fast enough, the interconnect layer is like selling HDMI cables before TVs exist.
Counterpoint. The HDMI cable company can still be a monster if the ecosystem converges. The trick is timing. Too early and you die in pilot purgatory.
Pilot purgatory is the most accurate phrase in deep tech. It's right next to grant-funded limbo.
So what's the lesson for listeners? When you see millions of qubits translated into, we are betting the market wants a platform story, not a lab demo.
And for operators, partnerships matter. CavilinQ explicitly says they're building early partnerships with quantum companies and academic groups, so they integrate with existing platforms. That's basically, please don't make us rewrite our stack for you.
Segue. Physical AI. Mind Robotics, spun out of Rivian, raises a $500 million Series A, co-led by Excel and A16Z, reportedly around a $2 billion valuation. That's not subtle.
That's a we're skipping a decade of normal startup pain round. Also, it's industrial robots, not humanoid, look mom, I can fold laundry robots. It's factory throughput, scrap reduction, physical reasoning.
This is the capital concentration story. The market is basically saying, we believe in physical AI, but we're picking a few platforms and throwing moons at them.
I love it, and I hate it. I love it because factories are real, and the ROI can be measurable. I hate it because mega rounds can hide mediocre product-market fit for an uncomfortably long time.
True, but factories are brutal truth serum. If your robot causes downtime, you get fired by a German engineer in 12 minutes.
And on our AI robotics research vertical, we keep coming back to data. Physical AI can't just train on internet text. It needs embodied data, edge cases, and deployment loops. Mind Robotics says they're building models, hardware, and deployment infrastructure. That's the whole flywheel.
Now, litigation finance. CDR News reports U.S. capital commitments to new deals rebounded to $2.8 billion in 2025 from $2.3 billion in 2024, up 23% after a two-year slump.
That's a modest comeback tour, not a back-on-top story. And they mention the market still feels tight, fewer big law portfolio deals, plus controversy over how AUM is reported.
The AUM reporting point is sneaky important. In any alternative asset class, once marketing numbers get fuzzy, the next phase is either standardization or regulation.
Or both. But here's the angle I care about. Transparency changes who shows up. If disclosures get tighter, the spray and pray money leaves, and the underwriting gets more disciplined.
Which ties into our Accelerator Warrant Enforcement Education series and the new chip warrant case study content. Not because it's the same thing as litigation funding, but because the common thread is legal process is an asset when you understand the rules of the game.
Yes, and the warning label is, law is path-dependent. Outcomes are messy, timelines are long, and headlines lie. That's why we keep it educational. Frameworks, not promises.
Quick community housekeeping. Daily research lives at gp.advalorem.io. There's an education library on the site, and we do small community dinners. Interest list only.
Plus, the Discord is where the live discussion happens. discord.gg/gergtp9gts. And if you want to plug into the community, there's an application link at tidycal.com/advalorem/syndicate. Also, yes, there's a Substack.
Final takeaways. Quantum is splitting into architects and connectors. Physical AI is getting funded like it's infrastructure, not apps. Litigation finance is stabilizing, and transparency is the battleground.
And if you're listening thinking, this felt like an investing pitch, it wasn't. It's research, education, and community discussion. That's it.
That's it for today's episode of the Syndicate Room. Next episode drops Thursday. And one more time, this show is AI generated. Voices, script, production, all artificial intelligence.
See you next time. And please, for the love of qubits, don't start a company whose go-to-market is, we'll explain it later.